special guest.
Special guest, Nick, the OG.
Absolutely, man. Always love coming on the Rusty Putter with you guys.
I know.
Adam's got some business to take care of.
He's taking care of business, like the song every day. You've been taking care of business. We did. Unfortunately, we had maybe an important horse race the other day that we didn't get to talk about, but.
I know mint juleps this year, man. I was disappointed, but
well, mint juleps, but maybe some. I wanted to talk today's episode about prepared buyers moving differently. So maybe no mint juleps, but a well-placed deal for clients that have been listening and setting quarterly mortgage refresh conversation and quarterly follow-ups with you about the market, right?
Absolutely, setting yourself up to win a deal. That's
and so let's talk about this family, right? They had come to you. They were getting a little bit older, empty nesters, looking to get out of a 2-story home and into the ever elusive, high demand, single floor ranch living, right?
Yeah, you got your first time home buyers, your people that are downsizing, the most competitive homes out there. So where we're going with this is where when those come live on the market and you're in the market for that, you got to be ready to pounce because that's the biggest draw of buyer pool that there is. So these specific people were empty nesters. They had a 2-story home. They're thinking ahead. They could still be in their 2-story home, not anything like that. But they're thinking, hey, the kids are out. We don't need 2 stories. We don't need to take care of that. We need to start, preparing themselves basically, right? To get out of this. So a lot of times with these deals and these clients, Tony, as you well know, and everybody knows, they don't necessarily have to go out because they can still do the stairs. They're working. They've been there a long time. It's not like it's a rush thing where they have to upsize or they have to downsize or, they're running out of time. So they're kind of waiting for that specific home to pop in the market. So they've been looking, I'd say probably for over a year, correct? Well, I've been with them for over a year, but it hasn't been totally on because they're waiting for the right house, but we've been over a year. So, but when I met with them, the importance of meeting and applying, some kind of plan and strategy is how they won this deal that we're getting to. So when I met with them, I told them, hey, if this is what you want to do, 3-bed, 2-bath ranch homes are high demand. Everyone, that's the biggest buy pool out there. We got to have a plan. Are we going to be contingent? Because that's going to be tough to do. We should talk with a lender. We should, get a plan together so that when something does pop up, almost a little over a year later, they're ready to go.
And that's it, right? I think this house came up on the market on Thursday or Friday, and they're in the house making a large, decisive decision is probably repetitive, but making a decisive move to write an offer because they already understood what the finances were going to look like. They knew what the other side of everything was going to look like. And then we used a product that we've talked about before here. We're going to use a bridge loan. So that's going to give them 6 months of time to move out of their 2-story home and into this home. So now they are, they're able to divest mentally, financially, and stuff-wise, right? When you have a homestead, as you know, you got 2 kids now, things start to compile in your house pretty quick. And sometimes it takes a minute to get all of that stuff packed up and moved. So now we're not juggling moving trucks. We're not juggling a ton of high stress, but it was all because we just had a plan in place. And I think the other piece that we, on the mortgage side of things, a quarterly check-in refresh is never a bad idea when you know that home is not going to work for you anymore. And you don't have any control over ranch homes coming on the market. If you did, I'm sure that you'd make sure hundreds of them were available.
Yes, absolutely. We love the 3-bed, 2-bath ranches. Those are the quickest sellers with the highest demand. But, the biggest thing here, Tony, you were touching on it, is that they set themselves up. So it came in the market on a Friday afternoon. They couldn't see it, that they wanted to see it Saturday morning. We went first thing in the morning on a Saturday. So now we're talking the weekend. Okay, so just put it in perspective, because this is why it's important to have a good team and stuff that and I know you, Tony, want to get out there to people to understand this stuff. This is why it's important to have a good team, people that know what they're doing and have been doing this a little while and are still actively doing it at a high level. Because I talked to them about this a long time ago and said, look, we need to get in touch with Leonard because we need to have a plan in case something hits the market. A lot of agents might not even say that or might not even be thinking about that. And then all of a sudden, a year later, they're looking at a home. They find the one that they want. It's in the area they want. It's the home they want. They don't mind the fixing up and the updating they got to do. All of a sudden, now you're talking to them about a bridge loan on a Saturday morning. What? How do we get this house? Okay, so this morning
It's-
we got to get in touch with. I mean, I know Tony, you're like me. You're 7 days a week, but it's still weekends are weekends. You got 3 kids. You're trying to get a lot of people in at your specific time that you just got it, and you got no plan in place. And we're trying to, get you to jump, and to make something happen. But we didn't do that. We already had a plan that was set in place. And so we know we didn't have to go contingent because this home was in high demand. So we didn't have to go contingent. They were comfortable with that because they've already talked to you. They've checked in with you. And they knew it when they got in. Hey, this is it. Bam, we're ready to pounce. We're under contract Saturday evening by 5:00.
And that's the biggest piece there is like trying to take time, right, and not feel rushed in that process. So we already knew the strategy because we knew we were going to be looking for a competitive home. So there wasn't there was not confusion or stress on that Saturday morning. And then we're also dealing with, imagine trying to get documents and trying to get all of that over to your lender. We try to make it as easy as possible, but that's still, you're shuffling paperwork, you're trying to sign a contract, wondering about all the numbers. But again, peace of mind, because like I said, we know that house and that move is a in-demand move, and you just have to be ready to go.
Yeah, and these aren't long. I mean, they're not long processes if you kind of are doing the right things, right? All they got to do is talk with you first, kind of come up with a plan, and then checking with you time to time. It wasn't like you spent every week, every day, talking to them about certain stuff. They got to do this and that. It was every once in a while they reach out, say, "Hey, Tony," or you reached out, "Hey, we're still in the market, we're still looking, everything's looking at our end. If something's ready to pounce, you guys are still good to go." So we're not telling you to make your whole life that. What we're trying to do is just talk with the professionals, get some plan in place. That way, when something does pop up, you're ready to rock and roll with it and you're comfortable with it. Because last thing you want to do is get rushed into something that you're not comfortable with. And you got to move fast in these deals, especially these 3-bed, 2-bath ranches these guys are looking for. So we moved fast Saturday morning to get a contract, but they were comfortable with it because of everything they did to, pre that in order to get that to happen.
You can't just jump into doing 50 push-ups. You gotta be ready. A little. Like I see you drinking some green juice right there. So, and Nick, so I'm not sure how much you can divulge on this part, but when you're presenting that offer to the listing agent on this, and the appeal to that to the listing agent and to the seller is what? Not contingent, fast close. Like what else sets this deal apart?
Yeah, no, and we can, and that's a great questions, and that's kind of something I want to touch on too. So it's important. So when I'm this listing agent, when they list this home, right, it's in high demand. They're trying to figure out what the best offer is, which one's going to get them the closing table. It doesn't always have to be the highest price. You know what I mean? A lot of times that wins out, but they also want to know who's doing the deal and how it's working. So. We were fast. We had a plan. I talked to that listing agent, said, "Hey, my guy has already been in contact with Tony Perri, who is my preferred lender for well over a year. They're very comfortable with doing this. They don't have to sell their place. We already know that, and they're ready to rock and roll. So you got good fast. You're showing that you're not wasting time, and you got your stuff in order, and you're prepared and ready to go. I mean, that's tough to beat."
That's it. Just like us hopping on here from remote locations today. It was in sync. We're not having any echoes. We had nothing. We just got some weird lighting behind me in this $42 a day parking garage.
Absolutely, doesn't matter where we're at, Tony. We got to drop knowledge on the public. We got to educate them. We got to make their lives easier, our lives easier, and try to, get this real estate business to where it should be.
And Nick, how do people get in touch with you if they want to start this journey and have success like this family did?
All social media is Realtor Nick Oosting. Just look me up, DM me anytime. My direct phone number, you can call, text me anytime, is 630-284-9624. Me and my team are here for you every day.
I love it. Anything else?
That's it, Tony. You enjoy whatever you're doing out there. I'm going to get rocking and rolling here. Got a full day of real estate, and we'll share some more stories.
We'll do it again. But hey, a big win, because prepared buyers, they just move a little bit different. All right,
Amen.
We're out.
All right.
See you.
I'm done. Cut the show.